This is music, and this is another episode of Songs from the Pukebox. Welcome back to the Pukebox. This is just a What's Spinning series with a terrible title based on a stupid pun. I know. What I do in these videos is basically just show and talk about some of the music from my collection I've been listening to over the last week or so. And I have very little music in my collection that I don't like. So 99% of what I talk about in these videos is actually stuff I like. Now, why would I have music in my collection I don't like? Why would I sit on stuff I don't like when there's somebody else out there who would probably like it? So I typically pass on stuff from my collection I don't like. So it's just a What's Spinning series. I have a handful of CDs to talk about, starting out with a legendary hard rock album by a legendary hard rock band, AC/DC, Highway to Hell. A lot of people talk about this one, and a lot of people love this one, but the conversation tends to be restricted to the title track, and then maybe beating around the bush, and if you want blood, you got it, if you're lucky. But this one is worth exploring for all the songs. So if you're like a younger person who wants to get into hard rock and explore some of the classics, I recommend that you explore this one beyond the title track. Don't get me wrong, Highway to Hell and uh, If You Want Blood, You Got It, and Beating Around the Bush are fantastic songs. But so is, for example, Girls Got Rhythm. It's a fun, catchy song. I love that song. Walk All Over You and Love Hungry Man are fantastic songs too, with some great main riffs. They're darker and heavier for AC/DC songs, so that makes them interesting as well. And then, of course, you have Touch Too Much, which is one of my favorite Bon Scott era songs. Shut Down in Flames is another fun, catchy song. And I love the sound that Bon Scott makes towards the end of the song. You got Get It Hot, which is a boogie song. So AC/DC exploring their roots as a boogie rock band. And then you have Night Prowler, which is a dark and creepy blues song. Now, this one is interesting because a lot of people trash Boogeyman, which they did later on. But Boogeyman and Night Prowler, they're both kind of similar in that they're creepy and dark blues songs. Sadly, Bon Scott passed away in the space between releasing this one and releasing um, Back in Black. So Brian Johnson took his place, and of course, sang on Back in Black and has sung with AC/DC almost ever since. Axl Rose actually took over for a while. While Brian Johnson was dealing with some hearing damage to his ears, basically. And yeah, actually, I think Axl Rose did a great job. I think I'm the only person in the world who thinks that, but I think he did a great job. Anyways, I like Brian Johnson and Bon Scott equally. So I love this era of AC/DC and I love the following era of AC/DC. But this album is very important in their discography because it's the last album that Bon Scott would sing on. Of course, the Jailbreak EP came out a little bit later, um, which was with some earlier material. But yeah, fantastic album, worth checking out and exploring it beyond the title track. Now we have this one here, and this is Agent Steel Alien Naima. This is one of the apocryphal Agent Steel albums. It doesn't really count as an Agent Steel album because John Cyrus doesn't sing on this. And it doesn't really sound a lot like the John Cyrus era or the John Cyrus version of Agent Steel. First of all, you have Bruce Hall singing on this one and the two other apocryphal ones. And he has a very different singing style. Great singer, though, fantastic singer. And also, the style on this one and the two other apocryphal ones is more thrash metal. It's not really speed metal, it's more thrash metal. Think maybe um, let's say uh, Anthrax, like Among the Living, Persistence of Time, think think Testament, think Artillery, think Metallica, Master Puppets, and Justice for All, somewhere along the lines of kind of a mix of those bands. So you got some fantastic, solid thrash metal riffs all over the place, amazing guitar solos. You know, some great quality thrash metal on this one. It's definitely worth checking out if you like thrash metal. And I know there are a lot of people out there who don't like John Cyrus, not as much because of his singing, but there's some aspects of his personality they don't like, and then they don't feel comfortable listening to uh, the albums that he sings on. But maybe you want to check these out because he's not on them, and it's thrash metal and it's great stuff. I like this era, the apocryphal era of Agent Steel, and I like the John Cyrus era or versions of whatever you want to call him. I like him equally. But there you go, great thrash metal. Up next, another classic, Deep Purple in rock. So this one, of course, has Speed King on it, and it has Child in Time, which is a fantastic, epic masterpiece of a ballad with Ian Gillan hitting some amazing high notes. This is another album a lot of people talk about, but again, the conversation is restricted to Speed King and Child in Time. But this one has some amazing deep cuts on it too. This is the anniversary edition, by the way, so it has a ton of bonus material, which I rarely listen to. Apart from Black Knight, it's included on here because that's one of my favorite Purple songs. So I did listen to that one, of course. Um, but you have some great songs on here. You have Bloodsucker, um, and you have Flight of the Rat. They're amazing songs. You have Into the Fire, which is one of my favorite Purple songs as well. You got Living Wreck, and you got Hard Loving Man, and they're all fantastic songs. So again, if you're like a younger person and you're looking to get into hard rock and you want to explore some of the classics, I recommend that you check this one out and explore it beyond just those two hit songs. And some people don't like Purple because of the organ, and maybe the organ is a little bit dated now because it's kind of like a trope of 70s rock music, but there's no denying that John Lord was a fantastic organ player and he does a fantastic job on here, so I love that stuff. Great album, worth checking out. I think this is remastered, and I'm not really loving just the balance between the different channels. I think the vocals are too low, but it's a minor issue. Great album, classic, worth checking out. Up next, this one here, José Cid, and I don't know how to say 10,000 in Portuguese, so it's 10,000 anos depois entre Venus e Marte. And this is progressive rock. Now, as far as I understand, José Cid is more of a pop singer, quite popular in Portugal. But he did this one progressive rock album way back in the day. And I think he's revisited prog rock a little bit later on. But this here is a fantastic prog rock album. If you like progressive rock, do yourself a favor and check it out. It's a little bit overlooked internationally. I think in Portugal, I think it's a little bit more well known. But this is a great prog rock album. You got your odd time signatures every now and then. You got your ebbs and flows, twists and turns. You got your moogs, you got your mellotrons, you got your organ, you got all that good stuff. You got your sci-fi lyrics. Fantastic album. And say what you want to say about José Cid as a pop singer. Bad singer, he is not. The dude can sing. And he also hits some incredibly uh, impressive high notes in some of the songs on this album. It's worth checking out. It's fantastic. I love the song O Caos, which is kind of a heavy song in a way. You got Fuga para Spaza, another fantastic song. And I love the instrumental as well, which is called Melodron O Planeta Fantastica. Um, and it's just a great album throughout. Really, do yourself a favor, give this a listen if you like prog rock. The lyrics are in Portuguese, but why the hell would that be a problem? You know what I mean? Great stuff. Up last, this one here, Lovebites, Battle Against Damnation. 1, 2, 3, 4 punch of an EP. Fantastic band. These ladies are just amazing musicians, all of them. And you got just, a short, sharp shock, a sweet, short a package of just amazing songs on here. Starting out with um, The Crusade, which is a love letter to Aces High by Iron Maiden, a fantastic song. Then you got Break the Wall, a thrash metal song. And then you have two epic songs, Above the Black Sea and Under the Red Sky. Amazing songs. And this to me is power metal. I know a lot of people get mad when you call Lovebites power metal. But like I've said before, I don't think genres are absolute entities. To me, they are more like what they call prototype categories in cognitive science. So rather than absolute entities, they are they're more dynamic, and you have some more typical examples of power metal in that. If we talk about the power metal genre, and you have some less typical ones, and you have some that are members of more genres like power metal and speed metal, whatever, and prototype categories and music genres. I would say they even differ from person to person because they're not set in stone. So one person's power metal might be another person's speed metal, might be another person's straight up heavy metal, might be another person's power thrash. So there's no need to get mad at people like me who consider the core style to be power metal. Now, don't get me wrong, there are lots of different influences, lots of different genres at play in their style, but just to me, the key style, the core style is power metal. Fantastic musicians, great EP, masterpiece of an EP, if you ask me. And this might be a good gateway into Lovebites. Now, my introduction was the greatest hits that they did a couple of years ago. But this one is also pretty representative. You got your power thrashy parts, you got your heavy metal stuff, you got your power metal stuff, you got some ballady traits of Under the Red Sky. So you got that part of their style. You got the epic stuff. You got the symphonic stuff. So yeah, this and it's short. It's a short and sweet EP. So this might also be a good introduction to the band. I love this EP. I think it's amazing. If you're angry because I consider them to be a power metal band, I think you need some anger management. It's not worth getting angry at other people's opinions about music. On that note, do check out these. I love all of these albums that I talked about. Do check them out if you think they sound interesting. For now, thanks for watching.